students. So we have already started with chapter number 7 of NCERT book, that is directing. And in my last lecture, I explained to you the meaning of directing, the characteristics of directing, importance of directing, principles of directing, and then we came on to the elements of directing. So I told you that there are basically 4 elements of directing, that is supervision, motivation, leadership and communication. Now supervision is one of the very important element which we are going to cover today in detail. As I've already told you that we are going to cover these 4 elements, that is supervision, motivation, leadership and communication in detail. Now first of all, today we are going to start with supervision. As you can see on the page which I have written, supervision is the process of guiding the efforts of employees and other resources to accomplish the desired objectives. This is what supervision means. Supervision means, super means best and vision means view. So basically viewing the efforts of the employees and other resources to accomplish the desired objectives, that is what supervision means. Or you can say that supervision can be understood as the function to be performed by supervisor, a managerial position in the organization immediately above the workers. So who performs the task of supervision? Basically the supervisor, which is a managerial position in the organization immediately above the worker. So that is what supervision means. So basically supervision is the process of guiding the efforts of employees and other resources to accomplish the desired objectives. Or supervision can be understood as the function to be performed by supervisor, a managerial position in the organization immediately above the worker. So I hope the meaning of supervision is absolutely clear to you. Now this topic again I am covering from NCERT book because it is very well given in the NCERT book. Now the next is importance of supervision, or you can say what is the role of a supervisor. This is a very important question from board point of view. Many a times this question comes in board. What is the role of a supervisor in an organization? It's a very important topic. So you must do this topic very carefully. So importance of supervision, that is role of supervisor. Now what is the role of supervisor? See in the page which is there in the video. First is that a supervisor acts as a guide, friend and philosopher to the workers. Now supervisor, he maintains a day-to-day contact and maintains friendly relations with the workers to achieve the organizational objectives. Thus we can say that supervisor acts as a guide, friend and philosopher to the worker. Now the second role of supervisor is that, as I have already told you, that supervisor is a position just above the worker. So supervisor acts as a link between the workers and management. He conveys management ideas to the workers on one hand and workers' problems to the management on the other. This role played by supervisor helps to avoid misunderstandings and conflicts between management and workers or employees. So first of all, there is a link. He acts as a link between the workers and management. He conveys the policies, the expectations of the management to the workers on one hand, and on the other hand he conveys the problems which are faced by the workers to the management. So this role played by supervisor helps to avoid misunderstandings and conflicts between management and workers or employees. Now the third important role which a supervisor plays is he helps in maintaining group unity among workers. So yes, supervisor helps in maintaining group unity among the workers. He sorts out internal differences and maintains harmony and cooperation among the workers. Then the fourth role which is played by a supervisor is he ensures performance of work according to the targets. So targets are set by the organization. So who ensures that the workers perform the work according to the target? Supervisor ensures the performance of work according to the target set. Then fifth role which is played by a supervisor is he provides on the job training to the workers and the employees. As we have already discussed under the topic training methods, and we have discussed on the job training methods. On the job training methods are when the workers are trained at the place where the workers are actually working, that is known on the job training method. So he provides on the job training methods to the workers and employees. A skilled and knowledgeable supervisor can build efficient team of workers. Now the next role, sixth role played by supervisor is supervisory leadership plays a key role in influencing the workers. Yes, supervisor plays a key role in influencing the workers, and a supervisor with good leadership qualities can build up high morale among the workers. And the last, you can say, the role of supervisor is analyzing the work and gives feedback to the workers. So one of the major roles played by supervisor is he analyzes the work performance of the workers, and then he suggests ways and means of developing work skills. So this is one of the element, very important element of directing, that is supervision. So the next element of directing is motivation. Let's move to the next element, important element of directing, that is motivation. See, I've made a very attractive sheet for you so that you are able to learn in a better way. I think this way everything will be very much clear to you and you will be able to learn well. Now first of all, motivation, as the name suggests, when I say that sometimes some children are not ready to work, they are not ready to learn, then what is the role of a teacher? The teacher motivates the child. He induces the spirit of working. He raises the incitement of working in a child. So sometimes because of the teacher's counseling, a student starts working hard. What is that? That is motivation by the teacher. So motivation is another very important element of directing. I have told you there are 4 elements of directing, that is supervision, motivation, leadership and communication. So motivation means incitement or inducement to act or move. It means the process of making subordinates to act in a desired manner to achieve certain organizational goals. See, I have written the meaning of motivation. It is basically incitement or inducement to act or move. It means the process of making subordinates to act in a desired manner so that the objectives of the organization are achieved. Now there are 3 terms which are attached to motivation, which I have written. First is motive, second is motivation, and third is motivators. Now let's do these 3 terms in detail. Now what is motive? A motive is an inner state that energizes, activates or moves and directs behavior towards goals. Motives arise out of need of individuals. Realization of a motive causes restlessness in the individual, which prompts some action to reduce such restlessness. For example, the need for food causes hunger, an account of which a man searches for food. Some such motives are hunger, thirst, security, affiliation, need for comfort, recognition, etc. So basically a motive is an inner state that energizes or activates or directs behavior towards goal. It is an inner state which directs a person towards a goal, which directs the behavior towards a goal. That is known as motive. Now what is motivation? As I have already discussed with you, motivation is the process of stimulating people to act to accomplish desired goals. So motivation depends upon satisfying needs of people. So motivation is an act of stimulating or inciting or inducement to act in a particular way so that the certain organizational goals are achieved. Now what are motivators? Yes, who are motivators? For example, I am motivating somebody. So that means I am a motivator. Motivator is the technique used to motivate people in an organization. Managers use diverse motivators. So motivators are basically techniques, and the people who are motivating the other person, they are known as motivators. So basically I can use the technique in an organization. Technique can be used that, okay, you do this, your pay will be increased. You do this, you will get bonus. You do this, you will get praise. You do this, you will get recognition. So these are all motivators. So motivators can be financial motivators also. They can be non-financial motivators also. So basically three terms. Motive is an inner state that energizes or activates or moves or directs behavior towards a particular goal. Motivation is the act of stimulating people to accomplish desired goals, and motivators are the techniques which are used to motivate a person. It can be financial or it can be non-financial technique. They can be financial motivators, they can be non-financial motivators. Now moving on to the features of motivation, as you can see on the paper in the video. First of all, motivation is an internal feeling. Yes, do you agree with me or not? Since we say that motivation is an urge, it is an internal feeling, it comes from inside. The desires, the aspirations, the needs of humans, they're all, motivation is an internal feeling. So motivation comes from the urge, the drives, the desires, the aspirations, everything. So basically motivation is an internal feeling. For example, people may have the urge or desire for possessing a motorbike, comfortable house, reputation in the society. These urges are internal to an individual. So motivation is totally an internal feeling. Then next feature is motivation produces goal-directed behavior. Yes, it produces a goal-directed behavior. For example, the promotion in the job may be given to employee with the objective of improving his performance. If the employee is interested in promotion, it helps to produce a behavior to improve performance. So basically motivation produces goal-oriented behavior. So next is motivation can be either positive or negative. So do you agree with me or not? Yes, motivation can be either positive or it can be negative. For example, rewards like increase in pay, promotion, they are positive motivators. Whereas negative motivation like punishment, if you will not do this, I will give you punishment. That is negative motivation. Stopping increments, if you don't achieve these targets, you will not get an increment this year in your salary. This is negative motivation. Threatening, I will take you out of the job, I will throw you out. Sometimes, teacher says, if you will not do this work, I will not let you come in the class next time. So this is negative motivation. So it can be positive motivation. Sometimes positive motivation works, and sometimes negative motivation surely works. So there can be two types of motivation, that is positive motivation and it can be negative motivation. Then next is motivation is a complex process, as the individuals are heterogeneous in their expectations, perceptions and reactions. Any type of motivation may not have uniform effect on all the members. So it is a very complex kind of process, because every individual is different. I can react to particular motivation in a different way. For example, sometimes if a child is given negative motivation, he moves in a very different direction. He moves towards the negative side because he requires only positive motivation. But sometimes a very, very naughty child, if he is not given negative motivation, if he is not given, if he is not told that you will be punished for doing this particular job, he will never do the work. So every individual is different. So motivation is different for every person because it does not have a uniform effect on all the members. So this is all about motivation, and I have discussed with you 3 terms, and I have discussed with you features of motivation. Now moving on to the motivation process. Now what is motivation process? So as I have written in this, can you see this chart? This you have to make in your notebooks. First of all, unsatisfied need, then there is a tension, then there is a drive, then there is search behavior, then satisfied need and reduction of tension. So motivation process is based on human needs. Yes, what are your needs? It is based on that. A simple model to explain motivation process is mentioned on this paper. So this I have already told you. First of all, suppose if I talk about, we can discuss with an example. Suppose Ramu is very hungry since he did not have breakfast in the morning. By 1 p.m. he becomes restless and started walking on the road in search of a hotel for snacks or meals. After walking for 2 kilometers, he could find a hotel where roti and dal was available for rupees 10. Since he had only rupees 15 in his pocket, he paid rupees 10 and had a satisfying meal. After taking a meal, he felt that he had regained energy. An unsatisfied, so what do you see? An unsatisfied need of an individual creates tension. Yes, because Ramu was hungry, so he was not satisfied with the food. So that created tension in his mind, which stimulates his or her drive. Then that induces the drive to go for search of food. Now these drives generate a search behavior. Then there is a search behavior. He walks for 2 kilometers searching for a hotel from where he can get the food. Then there is search behavior, and if such need is satisfied, the individual is relieved of tension. And when he searched for the hotel and paid rupees 10 for food and had a satisfying meal, he regained his energy. That means there was reduction of tension. So see, this is the whole process which Ramu followed, because this is the process of motivation. First of all, unsatisfied need, then unsatisfied needs causes tension, tension causes drive, then there is drive causes search behavior, search behavior, due to search behavior the need is satisfied, and when the need is satisfied there is reduction of tension. So this is all about motivation. I think I will stop here, and tomorrow we will move on to the next topic, that is importance of motivation. So my dear students, today I have covered supervision, meaning of supervision, then I covered the importance of supervision or the role of supervisor, which is again a very important question. Then moving on to the next element of direction, that is motivation. I covered the meaning of motivation, then the 3 terms which are used in motivation, that is motive, motivation and motivators, then features of motivation and motivation process. So I hope you have understood this part, and I hope you are completing your notebook side by side, and very shortly we are going to start with the checking process. So make sure that your notebooks are complete. Thank you and have a nice